On April 20th, 2010, disaster strikes off the coast of Louisiana.
This is the battle. This is where the fight's taking place.
Fishing communities that survived Katrina now face one of the worst environmental disasters in U.S. history.
Our children are already breaking out in rashes. We're not going to be able to live here.
Fishermen and their families struggle to save the only life they've ever known.
Been on the waiting list since May, and I'm still not on the job.
90 days, born and raised here.
They destroyed my life.
The whole coast is going to be full of oil. It's going to be so contaminated, you ain't going to know what to expect. The world ain't ready for this.
In the bayou of Louisiana, where the Mississippi River meets the Gulf of Mexico, sits one of America's last remaining fishing communities. Called the Sportsman's Paradise, it's now the closest landmass to Deepwater Horizon, ground zero for the oil spill. Just weeks since the spill, and millions of gallons of oil are spewing into the Gulf, forcing the community's fishing zones to close and threatening to end their way of life forever. But there are a few fishermen in the bayou who defy the encroaching oil and journey out each night in search of unpolluted waters.
EJ, come here. Yeah. Okay, hold it. Well, that's what I told y'all to do. That's good enough, Marvin. Just look, give me that net, look. I was born by the stop sign right there, the only stop sign they got. I was born in a houseboat. My daddy's half Indian and my mom's half Indian.
Eric Tyser is a father, raising his sons as he was raised, on the waters of Venice, Louisiana.
They don't have one son in one of them vats. Look at them vats with the lid on it. See if one of them vats got one. If not, that one over there. Just look at them all. It's hard work, but you make it. But it's nice going out there with your own boat and seeing it, getting in them, seeing them take off. I had my own boat when I was 9 years old, with a little 15 on a little flat boat. Hey, grab that paper and go put it in the trash can over there.
No, find a bucket, don't find a...
We got 2 buckets already. To me, it don't get no better. It don't get no better. You're your own boss when you're in a bayou.
Each night since the spill, Eric has brought his sons out on the water to share with them a way of life that may soon be gone.
Hey, John, you gonna say the prayer for us?
Lord, please let us have a safe trip out here, please. Don't let it rain or nothing. Please let us have a beautiful night. Let us catch some shrimp and all. Just please let us have a safe trip tonight. Amen. Amen.
Eric heads out across the Mississippi River in search of clean waters and hoping for a good night's catch.
All right, Mom. Where's his luck, cousin?
Time is running out for Eric and the thousands of fishermen who contribute to Louisiana's multi-billion-dollar fishing industry. This fertile estuary spawns fish that feed the country and provides thousands of seafood jobs. Now the Gulf's ecosystem is under threat. "34 days since the spill, and oil has already reached the beaches of Grand Isle, the region's last inhabited barrier island.
It's just a small, quaint community. I mean, it has a school, has about 3 churches. I used to fish, but we work 7 days a week. Now there's no leisure time. We have a very small staff, like I was telling you, and we're stretched.
Myron Fisher, a marine biologist, is charged with determining the safety of fishing zones.
You know, we have a very good industry, rolling along, very stable catch, and 2010 comes along.
Since the spill, Myron has seen waters become too polluted to fish in, and the agency has been forced to close fishing zones in rapid succession.
You don't see any fork trucks working, you don't hear any noise, you don't smell shrimp, you don't see anything that looks like there's any life going on at Grand Isle's major shrimp dock. All we have is a new BP sign up here. It wasn't an act of God. You know, it was a consequences made by a risk that a high-level corporation took trying to make exorbitant profits for itself. So they took a risk, and that risk has all these people shut down. Then you have this massive amount of oil in the Gulf. Got to wait, see where the currents are going to bring it. Could bring it down to Cuba, could bring it to Louisiana. We're at the mercy of the currents. We just got to figure it out. We got to find safe areas for these people to fish and get it back open for them.
Shrimp boats sit docked in the harbor, and unemployed fishermen restlessly pass the time.
We came in yesterday. Yesterday they shut us down. I went, my deckhand was sick. I went by myself. I made a couple drags and went in. They called me up and told me it was closed.
Patrick Hugh is a grandfather, father, and fifth-generation shrimper. The only life he's ever known is now on hold.
That was my drag right there. It goes all the way to here, all the way to here. These are hangs, underwater obstructions. Water is where I live. I spend very little time on land. I have my house, you know.
It's late May, the middle of the spring shrimp season. Today, instead of trawlers, the bayou is peppered with hundreds of cleanup boats and Coast Guard vessels on disaster relief duty. Helicopters circle above Patrick's boat, dropping sandbags in an attempt to keep more oil from entering the bay.
It's now hitting home, you know what I mean? It's now hitting hard that we can't go out and make anything anymore now. But it's, I mean, cut dry.
Patrick has received $5,000, the payment BP has given to boat owners, but it hardly covers his monthly expenses.
Repairs on the boats hadn't been being made because we can't afford it, you know?
BP has also set up the Vessel of Opportunity program. Its purpose is to hire local boats to work the cleanup.
We don't want to hand out at all, you know. If that was the case, then we wouldn't be signing our boats up to go clean up the mess they made, you know.
The town of Venice is just a few hundred strong, a tiny strip of land at the mouth of the Mississippi. Just steps from the quiet marina is the Unified Command Post, where BP, together with the Coast Guard, is coordinating the massive cleanup effort. Thousands are working on the oil spill, stationed indefinitely in Venice, Louisiana. The town now revolves around cleanup operations and has become unrecognizable to its residents.
We don't have movies. We don't have McDonald's. We don't have Burger King. We don't have the fast food joints. We don't have a skating rink. We have the Gulf. We have each other.
Kindra Arneson is the wife of a commercial fisherman and is raising their 2 children in Venice within 100 feet of the water.
I want you to take me a nap.
Okay. You want to take a nap?
Yeah.
While most fishermen are out of work, her husband David has been hired to transport oiled birds for the Louisiana Department of Wildlife and Fisheries.
Well, I've only been on 2 weeks. 2 weeks I've been hauling supplies and old pelicans and stuff back over there. They're set up in Fort Jackson to really take care of them.
For Kindra and David, life in Venice has begun to unravel.
We have what's called bad air days. Oh, the EPA's testing everything. Everything's just fine. But on bad air days, if you come outside and get a headache and nausea, go inside your home, close doors and windows, and put the air conditioner on recirculation. Mr. EPA, if there's nothing in the air that's affecting us, what are bad air days, and why do we need to lock ourselves up in our home like prisoners here in Venice and put the air conditioner on recirculation?
Well, we smell it every day. It was strong in Venice this morning. I've already went to the doctor. Every time I run out of medicine, I have to go back. I cough so bad. My little girl, the spots, she broke out with them, looks like chicken pox.
And this is just the start of it. Look up, baby, look up. This is the little red bumps all over her. And it goes around to the other side. I don't know, yep, look. You see this? And they're actually raised. So does everybody think that we're gonna be able to live here when this big sponge of a marsh is filled up with oil and they can't get it out and it cooks? Do people really think we're gonna be able to live here?
"45 days since the spill, and BP has yet to cap the leaking well. Oil is still gushing into the Gulf, and officials have continued to close contaminated fishing zones. But for Eric Tyser, as long as there's a clean spot to fish, no matter how dangerous, he'll voyage out to sea.
I got it.
Tonight, Eric is taking his boat, the Black Pearl, 20 miles offshore.
We're headed toward the stars, baby, headed toward the stars.
They're searching for one of the last open fishing zones.
Oh, you're going right there. I see where you're going now. I see.
EJ, come here.
He's trained EJ, his deckhand, to help him.
Look, go and roll it off the spool for me.
They're eager to drop the nets and see what the unknown waters hold.
Oh, exciting. I mean, when you see them big shrimp start jumping out the water, it's just that good inside feeling. Like your first love, you know what I'm saying? It's just, bam, it's there. Oh! Oh! Cuz! Look at him jumping in the webbing.
And this is the catch.
Watch out, E. Look at the shrimp in there, baby. Don't let it go. Oh, pop them, but don't let the ropes go. Just pop them and let them come out slow. Slow like that. We got him, baby. That's a monster.
Eric's gotten lucky on the first haul. He's found shrimp in a place he's never fished before.
I'm enjoying every minute of it, you know. I love this. You can breathe, you know. Get all the fish overboard.
Hit me in the face with a fish.
Who?
You.
It won't be the first time.
As the night wears on, Eric's small boat moves out of familiar waters. This is the farthest out he's ever shrimped.
DJ!
What is that?
Get them back! It's a dredge!
Oh, it's a dredge.
It's the middle of the night, and the Gulf is strangely quiet.
Usually there's 500 boats working. There's 4 of us out here. This is the only place left open right here. They done closed the whole, all the way from the mouth of Southwest Pass, all the way to Texas. This is open right here going in. The beaches in Mississippi, Florida, all of that. This is the last shrimp to catch in the Gulf of Mexico.
EJ gets ready to pull in the next haul.
Oh yeah, we're gonna get him this time. Okay, EJ. That's not good. Give it to me. Oh, that don't look good at all.
With each haul, the catch gets smaller and smaller.
See what it does on this one. See, I think the oil is killing the shrimp before they come in. If BP shuts us down, I don't think it's gonna be hell on wheels, you know. I'm scared to death, you know, I'm scared to death. I'm finally getting to where I'm right here. I finally got my nose at the water this season, you know, where I can breathe. I don't know what to do. I can cry, you know. This is all I got left. I know in my heart that all is like cancer. It's killing everything. As it comes out of there, it's spreading, it's killing everything in its path. I think we don't have much time left. I just want to make the best of it while you know, the last, the best.
The community fears that it's only a matter of time before all fishing zones are closed. Fishermen have no choice but to find work where they can. Many vie for BP cleanup jobs. Patrick signed up his boat for a job weeks ago, but is yet to be hired.
50 days now we signed these contracts. Some of us went to work, some of us didn't.
Still without a job, he heads to BP headquarters.
Whether they're going to listen to me today or not, I don't know. We're going to see.
Media has been limited on BP's property, and cameras are restricted.
You need to do something? Give me, I'm going to take you.
Okay, that's okay. Okay.
I'm just looking to see when our boats are going to get hired, you know. I mean, we've been waiting for quite a while, and nobody's ever called me or nothing. I signed a contract.
You signed the contract? You're from Blackman's Parish?
Yes, ma'am. From Bureaus.
We can make sure that all the information's in there and everything, but I will tell you there's a lot of boats in the system.
Can you tell me about where I stand on the list?
Well, the thing is, it doesn't go straight down the list. They look at, you know, if they want a 30-foot boat for what program, and then they look at all the 30-foot boats.
You know, they say they got 5,000 boats in the system. I said, now how does a man got a chance to get a job when you got 5,000 boats? There's not 5,000 boats in this parish. And they're supposed to be hiring local boats first. She's telling me that they're not going down the list. They're going randomly by what boat they might need here and there. So I may never be called. I mean, if you got all this oil out there to clean up, then why not put the boats on the job and let them go to work, let them clean the mess up? But that's not what, I don't understand it, really, you know. If you had an oil spill, what would you do?
It's been 60 days since the spill, and over 130 million gallons of oil are now in the Gulf. 10 times the Exxon Valdez oil spill of 1989. Unemployment has skyrocketed, and thousands of Gulf fishermen are now out of work. 2,700 boats have been hired through the Vessel of Opportunity program.
They letting us work every day, so I gotta take it while I can because I don't know when it's gonna end. It can end tomorrow, or it might go 6 months. I can't go catch fish right now, so I gotta go catch something. It just happens to be cash money, you know.
Andy Cook is a charter boat captain, hired to ferry Coast Guard reserves to and from the oil spill sites.
Yeah, they could be anywhere up in here when we get close.
Those shrimp boats?
Yeah, we're looking for Venice Boys is the one.
Venice Boys?
Yeah, that's what Romeo 2 is departed the docks in Venice. And we're on our way.
What we'll do is we'll head out south, and then we'll work our way north to try and find them.
The passage through the bayou challenges even the most experienced captains.
We gotta rely on you guys. I mean,
your local knowledge, that's what gets us from point A to point B on these things.
Teams of fishermen deploy the protective boom used to contain the oil.
This is 18-inch harbor boom, protection boom that we're laying out. It's got a flotation system on the top, a skirt that goes down under the water to keep the oil from going under it. And it'll be anchored at both ends, and that'll work with the wind, and it'll keep the oil out of this roseau cane. For us, this is all, you know, we'd be worried about the floating stuff on the top. You know, in the morning, we just get our assignments, and we come to our area that we're assigned and do the best job we can to execute all the protection strategies and make sure we're doing what the command is telling us to do.
Over 3.6 million feet of boom have been laid out. Much of it by fishermen who work long hours in the 100-degree heat.
Matter of fact, whenever they call me to come on this job, that's what I was shrimping. And me and my son, we finished the day because they called me early that morning, told me I had to be there till the next day. So we went ahead and finished our day because I told my son, I said, well, let's finish it up that way there. We could go down knowing we did what we wanted to do the last day before we went on the job. It's a job. I can't complain, you know. I'm one of the lucky ones I'm on a job. It's good money, you're making good money. But fishing, I'm my own boss. Just here, I'm not my own boss, you know. But you can live with that, I guess. I go back something tomorrow, they'll always disappear. I turn my life jacket and my hard hat in and go shrimping happy as can be.
Just a few miles from where Julian and his son are working, the Department of Wildlife and Fisheries searches for oil that slipped past the boom. Clint Eds is one of the scientists assessing the oil's impact on the marsh.
It's all down and through there. It's just if you look at the water line, if I can. It's kind of hard to tell the difference between the mud and the oil until you grab it and it sticks to you. That right there is oiled. And that's what killed this mangrove. It's just stuck to here. It's not leaving until they figure a way to clean it up or it all dies and floats away.
And this is the battle. This is where the fight's taking place. This area is where all of our shrimp, our crabs, our finfish, our oysters live part of their life cycle. That's why it's so vital for us to save these islands, not let the oil get in them. Because if we lose the estuarine area, then we lost it forever.
Though the boom has contained some of the oil, the fact remains. Oil has already made its way into the marsh.
Here's the thing, whenever you get 3-foot waves, boom does you no good at all. You know, we've had relatively nice weather, but 3-foot waves, it's just gonna crash over the top. It's like a slow-moving grass fire. It's like, how far is it gonna get in there before something's done?
You put all this boom out, and we all know it doesn't work. But when we saving face because they want us to be here, out here doing this, hey, you know, if they weren't out here doing this, I would probably not be working, I guess. We all need work, so we gotta have something to do, but it seems like it's just politics, you know. They got us out here doing something just to look good, you know. They need to stop the leak. That would look good. You know? Then we can all go back to what we were doing.
Not only is oil pouring into the Gulf, but BP has sprayed over 1.8 million gallons of dispersant, a toxic chemical that sinks and disperses the oil.
It's breaking the oil up, it's sinking the oil. It didn't disappear. It's just not available for the naked eye. It's underwater. So now we're fighting something we can't see.
Kindra Arneson found out how serious long-term exposure to these chemicals can be from Dr. Ricky Ott, a survivor of the Alaskan Valdez oil spill.
I was sitting in Riverside Restaurant, and we were having the first commercial fishermen and their wives meeting. And she said, and then the workers started to get sick. So I stood up and said, "Excuse me, ma'am, what do you mean they were getting sick?" She said, "Cold and flu-like symptoms." I said, "Well, how long did the symptoms last?" "Some never recovered." When she said that to me, that was the moment. I broke down into tears. And at the end of the meeting, she walked up to me and she put her arms around me and she gave me a big hug. And she told me, she said, "This is not gonna be easy. You are in for the fight of your life, so get ready."
It's 72 days since the spill, and oil now seems like a permanent fixture on the Gulf Coast. But there's fishing water still open, so Eric stocks up his boat for another trawl.
Marvin, get what you want for the boat. I'm getting that. That's what I'm stopping here. Okay. Well, yeah, brother.
Go on, Eric.
What's up, fellas?
How you doing?
Doing it.
Most other fishermen haven't fished in weeks,
Right, bro.
unwilling to risk their boats in unfamiliar waters.
Got to do good tonight. I got to pay my insurance. They just called me and told me my insurance is going to be canceled tomorrow. We made it, guys! Okay.
Person with short arms can't do it.
That's real cute.
That sounds good.
Try it again.
I'm trying it again.
Nigga, pull the back of the car.
Listen. Sue, this is Eric. Tell Oscar to call me right now. I need to get my other big battery. That's not gonna work.
24 volts.
Yeah, but they both dead. How two dead batteries is gonna start a motor? Yeah,
Whoa,
there it goes. Look, there it went.
See?
No, you said you the captain. I want to see what you're working with. Oh, it's gonna... Well, the only thing I want you to do is fix this. You and him. I'm gonna get a battery.
3 hours later, and the boat is still docked.
It's the switch.
Yeah, it's on the way. Welcome to Venice.
That's what I'm thinking.
Ain't no other place like it. Hey, Katrina couldn't stop him. BP won't neither.
Ooh, BP might stop us.
Ain't stopping. Maybe for a little while, but not.
You know how long that Valdez, how long ago that was?
20 years.
Okay, they're just starting to fish again. How long is it gonna take us? 100 times bigger. We're gonna be dead and gone. Another day shot.
There's something wrong with the inside your starter, bro. Something's wrong with the inside the starter.
Throughout the region, people are becoming increasingly frantic. Claims have not yet been paid, and the situation is becoming dire.
BP don't give enough money, gotta come over here.
Oh, really? They don't give you $5,000?
No, that can't give me $2,500.
Once a week, Catholic Charities holds a lottery for food vouchers. Today, 75 vouchers, each worth $100, are being given away. Not nearly enough for the crowd that has shown up.
All right, I need everybody to be quiet, please. Listen for your numbers. The numbers that are called are going to receive food cards today. Those that are not called will not receive a food card today. $592, $524, $487, $522,
As they call off numbers, the unlucky ones begin to despair.
And the last number is 597. If you do not believe your number was called, you could come see me.
546 is not 5.
I cannot hear very well. No, he must have been called.
They can go to SBC and knock them off and over. SBC.
I can't go and just stick my head inside this trailer and not do anything. How dare me, right? I mean, I wouldn't be able to live with myself knowing what I know.
No longer willing to be silent, Kendra goes to the Louisiana Capitol to plead her community's case.
Women are begging me over the internet. I've talked to a few of them on the phone, crying on the other line, please, Kendra, press forward. Do whatever you can do to get our men protected.
Hoping to be heard, she puts her name on a list to speak on the Senate floor.
I'd like to address the whole floor.
Well, they're not going to let you on the floor.
What I'm here for is to speak up for the Plaquemines Parish community members, recreational charter fishermen, and commercial fishermen alike.
I really don't think they're going to let you.
Although unable to address the entire room, she succeeds in speaking with her state senator, A.G. Crow.
I've been very quiet through all this and haven't said much in the command post and just watched what's going on and what's being done. And I think that it would be very alarming to everyone in this room for our great state as to what's actually happening on the ground in Venice. I'm brand new to all of this, and it's a growing process. I'm learning as I go, tripping along the way. At this point, I just want to help. It's my role. I want to try to get things done. Try to get the mess cleaned up.
"87 days after the oil spill, and BP successfully caps the leaking well. Eric hopes to go out trawling, but all the shrimping zones remain closed.
Mom, what you doing? You feel like having some company? All right, you got some coffee made?
Eric's mother, Mary, has raised 6 children in the bayou.
Come on, Spade, right here, brother. Come on, man. Come on. Get in the coop for a minute. Spade, come on.
She's lived here for 60 years and refused to leave after Hurricane Katrina.
Spade, no.
Come on, man. Get up in there just for a minute. Get up in there for the brother. So what you been doing, Mom?
Just what you see me doing every day, son. Same thing. I had 5 feet of water in this house. That's pictures of my house, what was left of it.
What would you do if you come back in your house and your rental trailer, everything looked like that? What would you do? Lose it. Look, that was my home.
And I think what hurts the most is to know that Katrina come along, and then the oil spill come, and it's making it even worse.
They got restaurants that's closing down all over the coast right now because they can't get fresh seafood. I went to the bank, this morning, I took a withdrawal. I got $4,100. I needed to go to the bank today and find out what the heck's going on.
I should think so.
I just spent $300. No, I spent $1,000 in the casino. I know it, I've done it again. I just wanted to win my money back. I figured I put $300 down.
You ought to have better sense than that, Eric.
No, I just wanted to have a good time with my son and all his friends. And we had a good time. Even though I lost $1,000, we had a good time. It was hard-earned money, too, and I'm still kicking myself in the butt for it.
I've always told them they're in God's hand.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
Always in God's hand because...
That's our sword right there.
He says, Mom, he says, you pray for me. I said, Eric, I said, you know that's the first thing I do, you know.
Welcome, baby. Love you, Mom. All right, Mama. We're gonna be, there ain't no telling what we're gonna do.
Kendra's children continued to get sick, so she's moved them out of Plaquemines Parish. Her husband David has stayed behind to work on the cleanup and keep the family afloat. Once or twice a week, she comes back to clean the house and buy food for David.
I was raised in a single parent home up until I was 14. Then I was out on my own down here in South Plaquemines Parish. My community helped raise me. Therefore, they are my extended family. I'm a fisher girl, you know? That's part of why my husband absolutely adores me. We fell in love on the boat. This is a part of our life that, unfortunately, at this point, we realize that we're, in fact, gonna have to leave behind. David is completely lost. Where is support? Where is the support system? How do you think he feels? Excuse me. The American dream, right? Gone. Gone. One screw up by a screwed up company. You know, I mean, my kids asked me. David walked in the door the other day, little David, he's 5 years old. Mommy, they stopped the oil. I seen it on TV. Can we go home? I have to look at my 5-year-old and say, no, baby, we can't go home. Well, if it's not safe for me, is it safe for Daddy? How do you talk to a 5-year-old and say, well, you know, if Daddy gets sick in 20 years and he's lived his life, but if you get sick, you're just beginning.
Desperation in the community escalates, so Parish President Billy Nungasser calls a town hall meeting.
And before we break up into going to the different tables to answer questions individually, I would like to go over briefly 2 issues. One is the compensation, and the other is the vessel opportunity. The vessel opportunity, early on, there were a lot of boats not from this parish. In the last month, BP has worked through that list and removed the boats not from Plaquemines Parish.
Despite assurances that local boats are being hired first, most of the fishermen are still out of work.
We wouldn't have all these problems. I'm going to tell you the reason why we have these problems, because you all did not think of us first, okay? The bottom line, if it did first, then you should have thought of us first, but you didn't do that.
Their boats are working. I've been on the waiting list since May, and I'm still not on the job.
None of us, Billy. Strong. 90 days. Born and raised here.
Make sure your name's on the list. They put it in rotation.
How many times you want us to put our name on the list, Billy?
Buddy, I tried. It was in
your office over there in Belchase by the bank. I filled out 6 applications. And I'm not hired on yet.
There's another thing I want to talk about. They doing testing on shrimp, supposedly?
Well, federal, state, and federal.
And they claiming they not finding no shrimp contaminated?
No.
I got one in my freezer.
Well, then bring it to
I caught in Black Bay. I'd like to bring it to you and have you test it.
Patrick brings the shrimp over to the Wildlife and Fisheries table.
That's a shrimp, and it's got colors in it that I ain't never seen in a shrimp before. But I just would like to have it tested, and and I'd like to know more about it.
What do you want to test it for?
Well, look at it. It looks like it got chemicals in it to me.
Well, with one shrimp, you're next to plastic, okay? Since next to plastic, it cannot be tested for hydrocarbons because hydrocarbons will leach from that plastic into the water and into the shrimp.
What? Because it's in a plastic bag. We all know plastic is made out of petroleum.
Yeah.
All right? This shrimp has got something besides petroleum in it. It ain't just petroleum. People's lives depend on it that eat this stuff, you know?
I understand that. That's why we are pulling samples.
Yeah, well, I understand that, but all the samples out here y'all pulling, y'all not finding anything. Now, that's kind of hard to believe when you got millions of gallons of oil that's been sunk to the bottom of the Gulf. It was nice talking to you.
Found anything out, Cousin Pat?
What?
You go see where we at on the list?
you on the list. That's all you ever hear about that.
Look, they got over 1,000 working, but they say 680 fishermen.
It's not taking it back.
You know, I don't know what to tell you about that, Eric. That man said he ain't got nothing to do with it. We got to go fight with BP. You go fight with BP, they want to put you in jail.
Yeah, 90 days we've been fighting with them. We going trial? We going trial?
I'm more interested in my future, you know, with this. I want to be compensated until my business is up and running 100%.
Yeah, but Pat, the way they doing this with these people...
I don't want them feeding people contaminated shrimp.
What about this? What about the people that's the kids that plan on doing this, what their parents are doing?
It's over with for y'all, son.
The Deepwater Horizon oil spill has shaken the lives of fishermen and their families, altering the Gulf Coast forever. Tens of thousands of fishermen remain out of work. But for this community, the bayou will always be home.
Patrick, can you tell me why you didn't put potatoes in the shrimp stew?
Because some people don't eat potatoes in the shrimp stew.
Everybody eats potatoes in a shrimp stew.
Normally I would have put eggs in there too, but
Yes.
I didn't have any. Said if they don't want us to go to work, why not just tell us, you know, just let us sit home and collect our money if that's how y'all want it to be, you know. But we was just trying to go to work and clean up our, you know, our backyard because you screwed it up. I didn't, you know, and it's got to be cleaned up. I don't know where else I would live, you know. I mean, I've lived here all my life. I'm 49 years old. You know, it's been a long time. How can you leave something like this, you know?
For Kendra, her husband David, and their children, the future remains uncertain.
We don't know. We don't know. That's the worst part about all of this. We're the parents. Normally, we have the plan. How we're going to take care of our kids, how we're going to pay our bills, what we're going to do. Now we have no plan. Flying by the seat of our pants. BP won't put anything in writing at this point today, so we don't know what they're going to do with us. Now we've become, instead of only God's children, we've become BP's children.
No matter how bad things get, for Eric, the chance to throw a line in the water is a chance to enjoy life.
Look, there's one right there. Look how big he is. He don't look big. There you go. Come on, to you. Get your belly full, Mom. We have us a bunch of little babies. Holy cow. Holy cow. I want to go enjoy the last drag. I want to be the last one standing. The last Indian standing in the bayou is going to be me. You know? I'm going to be out there, and you want to be with me, you're welcome.
America runs on oil. Our defense runs on oil. And yes, one day we will probably get away from that. And we will be into solar and geothermal and wind and other forms of energy. But the year 2010, we're not there. The year 2010, we are totally dependent on oil. We do know there's a lot of oil left in the water, and it's going to go somewhere. And no one wants it in their backyard. We don't want it in our backyard.
Since April 20th, An estimated 206 million gallons of oil have spilled from Deepwater Horizon into the Gulf of Mexico, and nearly 2 million gallons of dispersant have been released. Most of the oil still lurks below the water's surface, its path undetermined, its long-term effects unknown. But for these communities, the deep connection to the bayou will never end, so they continue to fight to save their life on the water.